families, Miss Ballard here, going to be sharing with you the information about what Elliott will look like when we reopen on August 23rd. Please note that this document has live links. You can access these links by going to our website and downloading the document. So let's get started. You'll see here the first link is based on the plan that we're following from the guidance of the LA County Department of Public Health Reopening Schools Protocol for K through 12 schools. Please also note that the guidance changes rapidly. I will do my best to communicate that information with you. It's always important to stay current with the information, and I will share some ways with you at the end of this presentation and how you can stay connected. So let's get started. Safety considerations. Please remember that those who are 12 years and older are encouraged to get the COVID-19 vaccine. Students and staff members who are sick should never come to school. In order to prevent the spread of COVID-19, it will be about us continually working together. So before arriving at school, very important that you remember to do a daily screening at home before leaving. This means that all students and staff must self-screen for COVID-19 symptoms each morning before arriving at school. If a student or staff member has any symptoms, they should contact the school or supervisor and stay home. Some of the symptoms are fever or chills, cough, shortness of breath or difficulty breathing, fatigue, muscle or body aches, headache, new loss of taste or smell, sore throat, congestion or runny nose, nausea or vomiting, diarrhea. Getting to school. If your child rides the bus, self-screening will happen before getting on the bus. The bus will be loaded back to front and unloaded front to back. Students must wear a face covering on the bus at all times. Students will use their Z-Pass and have assigned seats. Buses will be cleaned between routes, and windows will be open when possible to increase ventilation. Students must have their Z-Pass at all times in order to the bus. This ensures that students arrive at school in the morning and at the bus stop in the afternoon. Please also remember that face coverings must be worn when indoors while at school. Both students, school districts and staff, and parent or guardian. Hand washing and hand sanitizing is expected. Physical distancing will be maximized where possible. 3 feet between students and 6 feet between adult and student and adult and adult. Please remember, some of the best ways to prevent the spread of COVID-19 is to wear a face covering, wash your hands frequently, physical distance, and stay home when sick. You will note that we'll have designated entry and exit routes and gates for your student to arrive at school. And if your child appears ill when arriving at school, you will be asked to return to pick them up immediately. That's why it's really important that you do those daily health checks at home prior to coming to school. Our office remains closed to walk-in visits. Please make an appointment to meet with any school staff. Please note that our drop-off has changed a little bit from last year if you were with us. Fortunately, we are going to be able to offer a morning recess. The morning recess will begin at 8 a.m. while school begins at 8:30. So that 30 minutes will allow us a little more stagger of a start. With the morning drop-off, you will enter the drop-off lane by turning right only for 183rd Street. Students must exit the vehicle from the passenger side of the car and must be wearing a mask. You will see there are 2 gates of entrance, one for the kindergarten and first grade and the other for the 2nd through 6th grade entrance. Staying safe. Please remember again that a face covering must be worn at all times while indoors and outdoors in some cases. Reusable face coverings should be washed after each use, and disposable face coverings should be disposed after each use. If your child needs a mask, please let us know and we'll provide it for them. Certain students may have documented conditions that exempts them from wearing a mask. There is a link here in order to get more information on exemptions for students. Remember, face coverings must have multiple layers that are tightly woven and breathable fabric. Have a nose wire. The mask should block light when held up to a bright light source. Additional information can also be found on the link on this webpage, as well as the picture here on the right. Physical distancing indoors. Our classrooms are going to be arranged to allow for maximum physical distance between students and staff. All the students' desks will face the same direction. Our district has done a wonderful job about adding additional safety measures to our schools. Each classroom has a hospital-grade air filter, and additionally this year, air purifiers have been added to each classroom. There will continue to be routine cleaning of frequently touched surfaces and restrooms, and our custodial staff has been trained on cleaning and disinfecting our school campus based on the CDC and Department of Public Health guidelines. Lunch tables are cleaned in the morning and after each use. Students will continue to be required to wash their hands regularly, and we have hand washing and sanitizing stations around our campus. Additionally, this year, our district has added automatic hand sanitizing stations in each of our classrooms. At lunchtime, this year, all meals will be free for our students. You do not need to fill out an application. Each child will receive a free lunch. Meals will be eaten outdoors. Students will maintain physical distancing while picking up and eating lunch. Students will wear their masks until they are seated. Frequently touched surfaces will be cleaned. Areas that come in contact with food will be cleaned and sanitized before and after meals. We have water refilling stations throughout the campus. Therefore, students are encouraged to bring a reusable water bottle. Leaving school. Leaving school requires that the parent and guardian maintain physical distance in appropriate areas and should wear a face covering while waiting for their student. If you are picking up your if you're picking up your child, please do so immediately at dismissal. Dismissal again is at 2:36 p.m. The office remains closed to walk-in visits. Please make an appointment if you need to meet with school staff. Teachers are only available for meetings by appointment. We will follow the same after-school pickup as last year. Please note that you will want to have a colored sign with your child's name placed in your passenger side window. This makes it easier for us to identify who your child is to be sure that we are sending the child home with the correct parent or guardian. You will notice that there are going to be different areas where children will be waiting for their ride at the end of the day. You'll see at the very beginning, the second graders will wait on the curb. Then we'll have our third graders waiting on the curb. Next, our kindergartners will be waiting inside the gate, as well as our first graders will wait inside the gate. Our fourth graders, as well as our fifth graders, will wait on the curb and the emergency lane. And then lastly, our sixth graders will wait on the curb nearest to the staff parking lot. Please remember that the only way to exit the drop-off lane is by turning right on 185th. It's really important that we all remain patient with each other. We know that this is going to require some time to pick up your child, but we also know that if we continue to have safety of all of our students and staff in mind, then everyone should do fine. As I've noted before, our campus remains closed. If you wish to meet with the school staff, you need to make an appointment. And remember, these meetings will most likely take place virtually. If you need to contact our office, you'll see our number on the screen. It's 562-229-7850. For athletics and extracurricular activities, this mostly pertains to our older students, but as you know, we're fortunate enough to have a music program here with Mrs. Lindsay. The music program will continue, and she's able to offer it to our students outside, safely distanced from one another. We're very excited about that. Again, though, if you have older children, please note that if there are indoor sports that they're allowing spectators at, you will be required to wear a mask. Exposure or positive cases. So if we have a student during the day that shows signs of COVID-19, they will be immediately taken to our isolation area, and they must be picked up by parent or guardian immediately. This is why it's really important that your family emergency contact information stays up to date. Positive cases may lead to a closure of a classroom, multiple classrooms, or the entire school. Of course, accommodations will be made if a class or school is closed in order to still continuing to meet the academic needs of our students. Also, it is our responsibility as a district to contact the LA County Department of Health of any positive cases, and then they give us the guidelines to follow for any class or school closures. If a student or staff member has been exposed to an individual who's tested positive, they must quarantine per the LA County Department of Public Health instructions. A fully vaccinated student or staff member who's been exposed does not need to quarantine unless they have symptoms. Always, to prevent the spread, it's about making sure that you report the positive case or an exposure to the school immediately. We will ask you for the date of the positive case, the date of the test results, start date of symptoms, if any, the date of the last day of school, and the names of any close contacts while at school. We will always work with the LA County Department of Health to notify any close contacts with whom may have been exposed. Please keep in mind that close contacts means anyone who has been within 6 feet of the infected individual for 15 minutes or more within a 24-hour period. Again, parents or guardians will be informed of positive cases of COVID-19 occurring at the school. On this page, you will see a link to the district's dashboard that tracks all cases of COVID-19 in the district. Resources. Please remember that we are fortunate enough here at Elliott to have the mental health professional of Krista Perez. If any family member or student is in need of some mental health services, please reach out to Krista. Additionally, ABC has provided some resources about safely reopening our schools, how to deal with the pandemic, data about COVID-19 in our schools, information from our nurses, and then also information from our school mental health professionals. Additionally, you'll see on this links to our public health resources. Another reminder, August 23rd is our first day of school. Early dismissal for 1st through 6th graders will take place Monday through Wednesday, so that means school will be from 8:30 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. Then on Thursday, August 26th, that begins our regular schedule for our 1st through 6th graders, meaning that school starts at 8:30 a.m. and ends at 2:36 p.m. Kindergartners will actually have early dismissal until October 1st. That means the kindergarten schedule is 8:30 a.m. to 1 p.m. Stay connected. As I mentioned at the beginning of this presentation, it's extremely important to stay connected. As we all know, information is constantly changing, so in order to have the most current information, please stay connected. Follow us on Instagram. Go to our website. Follow us on Twitter. Again, my name is Laura Ballard, the new Elliott principal. I look forward to meeting with all of you and working with all of you on this year to make it another successful year at Elliott. Thank you so much and take care.